Hey, Dimitri here with Serg Supply. Today we're going to go over the installation of one of our overhead cabinets. Now this method is going to work for rounded, squared, low pro, and full sized. Any of the width between 36 and 44, it's all the same. Now for installation, you're going to need a few tools. If you're going to use the self-tapper method, you're going to want to get a power drill with a Phillips drive. Impact works better, but a normal drill will do just fine, and possibly some 3 to 5 millimeter drill bits to tap in if you want to go that route. You're also going to need a Phillips screwdriver and the installation hardware that comes with your cabinet. So it'll be an assortment of machine screws with washers and riv nuts, self-tappers. All right guys, to get started, we're going to prep the cabinet. This is really simple. Just open the doors, get them out of the way. You'll notice there's some wiring on the back of your cabinet for your puck lights. Go ahead and tuck that inside the cabinet so it's not sticking out. Now we're going to go prep the wall and ceiling. So if you have a Serg Supply kit, we've specifically designed the cabinets to fit our walls and ceiling to reuse the same riv nuts on factory holes. So the first thing we're going to want to do is take the screws that may be intersecting with your cabinet and just remove them. So for us, it'll be these two wall panel screws, these two ceiling screws. You may note there's another set of screws that sits right on the front lip of that cabinet for the low pro versions. That's the model cabinet you purchase. Just remove the finish washer, drive the screw right back in. It will countersink itself to give you a nice flush finish. The next step would be to dry fit the cabinet to make note of position, how it's going to sit, and more importantly, these channels on the top, we're going to want to know which channels we're going to employ to mount this. So you may not be able to see it from there, but I've taken note of exactly which channels we're going to put these screws through, and now I'm going to go get a helping hand, and we're going to put this guy in. So now that you've made note of the channels you're going to use to mount this cabinet, you can go ahead and lift it. It's light enough to carry with one person, although if you get a helping hand, this will make your life much easier. So go ahead and set the cabinet up where you'd like it to go, and you can find your mounting point and start to thread in your machine screw. Shouldn't be too difficult. Be careful not to cross thread. And again, quick reminder, do not use power tools for this. Now that we've got this side partially threaded, we can actually let it go and focus on the other side. I'm going to look for my mounting hole and go ahead and thread it on in. And once we've got a substantial bit of thread attached and holding, we can go ahead and let our cabinet rest. Now we're going to move on to the screws on the lower stretchers. Next, we're going to move on to these rear stretchers. You'll notice that our factory holes on our Serg Supply wall panel kit correlate with these cutouts here. Now these come in at a bit of an angle. What you want to avoid doing is putting them in straight like this, because the wall has some curvature and the riv nut will sit perpendicular to the surface. This machine screw will do the same thing. Go ahead and partially tighten this. Move on to the other side, get it partially tightened. Once the position of the cabinet is set where you want it, you can go ahead and use your Phillips screwdriver to tighten everything down. Now when you're mounting this, it's important to take these 12-volt light wiring and make sure it's tucked inside the cabinet before you screw the back in. Otherwise, you're going to be fishing this wire out. It's no fun. Another great feature of our mounting system is you can actually move this cabinet left to right now, find the position that's ideal for you and your setup before you start shooting it in. Now that the cabinetry is installed and it's where you want it, we can move on to the last step of our installation, which would be adjusting the doors appropriately. First thing you want to do is feel the depth, make sure that's okay. This particular cabinet, it's just fine, but I'll show you how to adjust it anyway. Now we do have a bit of uneven spacing around the edge of the doors. I'm going to show you how to use these three-way adjustable soft close hinges to close that gap. So these hinges and base plates are three-way adjustable, and I'm going to quickly show you how. This screw up here in the front primarily adjusts the height of the hinge relative to the base plate. So this will move your door up and down. There is a secondary adjustment screw inside of this pocket that moves this cabinet to the left and to the right on your base plate. The last adjustment screw is in the back, and this moves your cabinet forward and back relative to the base plate. You can use these three to adjust the door for a perfect fit. Whether you're fitting upper cabinets in a ProMaster, Transit, or Sprinter, the mounting system's the same, from low pro pre-finished maple to squared full depth bamboo. So thanks again for watching the video. If you have any questions, comments, or inquiries on different material choices or fitment options, feel free to call us or email us at info@sergsupply.com. Happy building.